Alright, algebra students, today we're going to solve multi-step equations. Now you've already solved one-step equations and two-step equations, so now we're going to solve equations that have more than two steps. Our goal here is to try to simplify the equation before we solve for the variable. So let's look at problem number 1, write it down. You've got y minus 7 plus 4y equals 13. The first thing you want to do is get your y's together. You want to combine like terms. So we notice here that we have a y and we have a 4y. Y is the same thing as 1y. So 1y plus 4y, we're going to combine those and we're going to get 5y. Then bring down the minus 7 equals 13. Now what we have is a two-step equation that we're going to use inverse operations to solve for the variable. Whatever we do to one side, we do to the other. So go ahead and do this. We're going to add 7 to both sides. That eliminates this 7 over here. That gives me 20. And then I bring down the 5y. 5y equals 40. If I divide both sides by 5, then y is equal to 4. Now, if we want to double check that, in order to check, you just substitute 4 for y, 4 minus 7 plus 4 times 4, and does that equal 13? So we do multiplication first, so that's 16. So 4 minus 7 plus 16. 4 minus 7 is negative 3. Negative 3 plus 16 is 13, so it checks. All right, on to number 2. All right, write this problem down. You have 3 times a minus 5 plus 19 equals negative 2. Notice that we have parentheses, so we do want to do distributive property here. Get rid of the parentheses, and then combine like terms. So we're going to get rid of the parentheses, distributive property, then combine like terms. So we have 3a, 3 times a negative 5 makes negative 15, plus 19 equals negative 2. Now we combine like terms. Don't forget to do this part. So combine the negative 15, positive 19. That makes positive 4. Bring down the 3a. So you have 3a plus 4 equals negative 2. Then I have a two-step equation. So your whole goal every time is to work it down to a two-step equation. Now I subtract 4, that cancels. This becomes a negative 6. Bring down the 3a, divide by 3. And a is equal to a negative 2. I can check that by taking the 3, substituting the negative 2, minus 5, plus 19 equals negative 2. And let's move that up. Alright, so I do 3 times a negative 7 because negative 2 minus 5 is negative 7. And I'm multiplying, I get negative 21 plus 19, and does that equal negative 2? Yes. So you can always check to make sure you have the right answer, and you can use a calculator to do that, although remember, not on a test. All right, we have 3 more problems, a total of 5. All right, the next problem also has parentheses, means that we have to start by doing the distributive property. You always start by trying to get rid of the parentheses. So I'm going to multiply that negative 3 times positive 2r. I get negative 6r. Bring down this negative 9. Then I multiply that negative 3 times a negative 1. A negative times a negative is a positive 3 equals negative 18. After I distribute, I will combine like terms. I have a negative 9 and a positive 3. I'll bring down, well, negative 9 plus a positive 3 is negative 6. Then I bring down the minus 6r equals negative 18. Now I have a two-step equation. My goal is to get rid of this negative 6. How can I zero that out and reverse that? So what I can do is add a positive 6. If I add a positive 6 there and a positive 6 there, then this negative 6 goes away, and I bring down negative 6r, add the negative 18 plus positive 6, and I get negative 12. Now divide both sides by negative 6, and I get r is equal to positive 2. I can double check, take the negative 9, minus 3, then do 2 times 2 minus 1. Does that equal negative 18? First I do the parentheses. 2 times 2 is 4, minus 1 is 3. So it's negative 9 minus 3 times 3. Does that equal negative 18? So I do this first because that's multiplying. So I have a negative 9 minus 9. And yes, that does equal 18, negative 18. So it does check. Let's do 2 more. Okay, write this problem down. You have double parentheses here. So x minus 3 in parentheses minus x minus 5 in parentheses plus 2x equals 0. So the first thing you want to do is get rid of the parentheses. So we're going to distribute, we're going to combine like terms, and then we'll solve. So on the first one, this x minus 3, it's positive. You don't really need parentheses, so there's nothing you have to do. You can just get rid of the parentheses. On this other one here, we have a minus sign in front of the parentheses. That means we're distributing a negative 1. So negative 1 times x is negative x, and negative 1 times negative 5 is positive 5. Remember that negative sign right there reverses everything inside the parentheses. Then I add 2x, bring that down, and then I have 0. And it's okay to have 0 over there. What I want to do next is combine like terms. So I'm going to combine, I have an x, and I have a minus x. X minus x, that just makes 0, so these go away. Then I combine the negative 3, and the positive 5, that makes 2, and 2 plus 2 makes 4. So I get 4 equals 0 as my result. Now, does 4 equal 0? No, it does not. 4 does not equal 0. You can write it like that. So what this means is there is no solution. So there's no solution to this. So when you come up with an answer and you get a false, what we call a false statement at the end, then there is no number that I can put into this equation to make it true. That's called no solution. All right, the last one for today. Let's write the problem down. It's kind of long, and let's see where it takes us. All right, the first thing you want to do is get rid of any parentheses so we distribute. So I multiply this 5 times g, 5g. 5 times negative 7, negative 35. Then I distribute this 2, but before that I have to distribute this negative 3. So notice you have brackets and parentheses, so I have to distribute the negative 3 first. So I'll bring down the 2, and I'll bring down the bracket and the g. Now I'm going to distribute the negative 3. Negative 3 times g is negative 3g. Negative 3 times negative 5 is positive 15. And then I have a bracket equals 0. Now I have to distribute again, so let's bring down 5g minus 35. Now distribute the 2. So 2 times g, that's plus 2g. And then 2 times a negative 3g, well that gives me negative 6g. And then a 2 times 15, that gives me 30. Now what do I do next? I combine like terms. So let's take all your g's together. I have 5g, 2g. What's 5g and 2g? That makes 7g minus 6g. So 7g minus 6g, that just gives me g. And then I will combine the negative 35 and the positive 30. Negative 35 and positive 30 gives me g minus 5 equals 0. Now I'm not done, I have to solve for g, so I'm going to add 5 to both sides. So that means g is equal to 5. And we can plug it in and double check to see if we have the right answer. Alright, that's it for today. Hopefully I didn't make any mistakes on this. And make sure that you write down your whisk. W, when and where did you watch it? What did you learn? What is the summary of this video? And then do you have any questions? Alright, thanks for watching.